Tax Lien Lady, and it is Investing for Success Saturday. And I have a tax lien investing tip for you. I just came back from looking at properties in a tax sale that I'll be going to in a couple of days. And this tax sale is not advertised. And don't ask me where it is because I only keep that information for my coaching clients. This is a sale that not too many people know about. Hedge funds don't know about it. It's not published. You won't find it in tax sale leaders. It's published in the local paper. So my tip for you today is dig for diamonds in your own backyard. What do I mean by that? Well, you've probably heard this story of the farmer that, and I don't know if this was someplace in India or Africa, but wanted to find some diamonds, heard that there were diamonds in the area and wanted to find some diamonds. So he sold his farm in search of diamonds. He never found any and he died penniless. But the person who bought his farm found diamonds on the farm. Okay. So you've probably heard that story, and that was like a real quick quick thing in a nutshell how the story goes, right? It's kind of more detailed and more exciting than I'm telling it. But the idea is that a lot of people want to go across the country to find tax sales, or if you live in a tax lien state, you're going to travel to a tax deed state if you want deeds. If you live in a deed state and you want liens, you might travel across the country to a tax lien state. But here's the thing. It's better to start in your own backyard where you know the property values. And I like to not travel like more than an hour away from my house. Now, I went to another state. I happen to be fortunate that I live in Northeast Pennsylvania, in the corner of the state. I'm close to other states. And I went to a tax sale, or I'm going to a tax sale. I went to look at properties that are in this tax sale. Here's my list. This is actually the second page. There's not a lot of properties in this sale, right? It's not too far away from a big city, but it's really not in commuting distance to a big city, unless you like to travel an hour or an hour and a half to work, then it might be. But the whole idea is that when I started this, I lived in New Jersey, and I started in my own backyard, and I learned how to make that work. And now I go to sales that are close to me still. And I happened to find this sale that is a lien sale in a county that only does deeds. And so you really have to look into what's going on in your own backyard, and see if maybe there's a sale that nobody else knows about, because sometimes even in counties that do deed sales, maybe some of the cities in that county do tax lien sales, or vice versa. There's counties that are tax lien counties, but there might be a city that actually has deed sales. So you really want to investigate what happens in your own backyard before you go, across the country. And I'll tell you something else. I've always said that anybody who tells you they're an expert all over the country is probably not telling you the truth. Well, I will admit there's states that I don't know much about, and I just found out. I always thought Ohio was a deed state, and they do have deed sales in Ohio, but it is a lien state. They do have lien sales. It's just that most of the counties bundle up the liens. And I knew that some counties had lien sales, but I didn't know they all have lien sales. It's just that most of them bundle them up into big bundles and sell them to big fund companies. But I'll be going to the National Tax Lien Association conference, and somebody reached out to me who is actually an attorney in Ohio. So I will be finding out the nitty gritty of Ohio, how it works, and how individual investors might be able to invest there. So, stay tuned for that. On Wednesday, I'll be doing a webinar from the National Strength and Conditioning Association Wednesday night. So you can register for that webinar at taxlienlady.com live dash free dash webinar dash registration. Okay. Um, I'll have to go back to this in the comments of this Facebook Live and put that link in there for you. And it is free to come to the live call on Wednesday night. It's at 7:30. But if you want the recording, if you can't make it live, you've got to be a member of Wealth Building Webinars. This is our Wealth Building Webinar series, and members of Wealth Building Webinars get all of the recordings for the last like 3 years of webinars, and we've done quite a few of them. Some of them are done by me, and some of them I have guests on. So maybe in the future, I'll have this attorney talk about tax sales in Ohio. Who knows? Okay. All right. Well, have a really nice weekend, and stay tuned because I'll report and let you know how I do in that tax sale on Tuesday. Okay. Bye.